What's up, guys? Happy Money Monday. Thanks for joining us as we continue our talk about credit. So again, let's review really quick. What is credit and credit scores and how can it help you? That's what we talked about last week. So again, credit is basically just a debt management score. It just talks about or gives you your grade. I know we used to say A, B, C, D, or F in school, but in with your credit score, it's 550, 620, 675, 700, 720, 780, all that type of stuff. So that's what credit is. Credit is just how lenders look at your ability to be able to manage debt. So that's what it is. We talked last week, we talked about how you can build credit on the low end, or being very conservative. You can build credit by using Boost, going through Experian.com, where they can have different bills that maybe don't report regularly, but they can. And then also the biggest thing is to use secured credit cards, and we talked about a couple of secured credit cards that can help you start to increase your credit score no matter where it's at. So let's say, all right, so now that we know what credit is, we've talked about how to increase it, we've done that, and that's great. Okay, so now the next question is, what can I do with credit? Like, what can I do with it? So it's great to have a credit score, but you need, in order for you to start having credit, you need to know exactly what you're going to do with it. So the most important thing is so that now, when things come up, so maybe there are big purchases in your personal life, so whether that is a car or furniture, or even a house, you can then use your credit score, your debt management score, to be able to say, hey guys, this is my credit score. My credit score is a 620. And then lenders will lend to you at a certain rate. The higher your score, then the lower your interest rate. And why are interest rates important? I'll tell you a quick story. So there was a time when it was maybe like 13 years ago, where I was in a crisis, right? And I was like, man, I really need to buy a car because my car was just shot up, and I was just tired of the brakes and repairs and stuff. So I need to do something else. So what did I do? I took myself to one of those buy here, pay here places, and they was like, well, what's your credit score? And I think at the time it was like a 580 or something. And he's like, well, yeah, we can go ahead and get you in. And I was all excited because I was in this car dealership, and, it was really good. And I was like, okay, this is cool. But then they gave me this older car, and it's like, well, your interest rate, it'll be 21.5%. And I was like, okay, great. I don't know what that means, but okay, cool. So I signed the paperwork, and then I went and looked. And I remember one of the sales guys, the sales guy I was dealing with, he told me, he said, hey man, if you got good credit, man, then you don't want to come here. You want to go somewhere else. So he warned me up front, but I didn't know what he was warning me of. 21.5% interest on a car. Oh my God. Once I finally figured it out, like 2 days later, I was ready to cry, scream, and kick and take it back, because I went to one of those buy here, pay here places, had interest rate of 21.5% on a car that would have cost me, if I had the cash, and I didn't. If I had the cash, car maybe would have cost maybe $4,500. But what they did instead is that they charged me $17,000 for that car. They spread the interest rates over 5 years, and it was 21.5%. So I was paying a boatload of money for a $4,500 car. But because I didn't understand interest and credit at the time, I was just in a need. It really messed me up. So it took me a long time to pay that car off because the interest rate was so high. And because my credit score was so low and I didn't know where to go. And he warned me, he said, hey, if you got good credit, don't come here. So one of the things you can use credit is just being able to borrow at a more friendly rate. So when you're looking at looking at these car commercials, and they say, hey, you can get this for 0% APR. I had no idea what that meant. In order to get those things that they're talking about, you have to have a good credit score. Your credit score has to be, in the 700, 720s in order to qualify for those things. But basically, you can use your good credit score in order to borrow money to be able to get assets, a house, and then especially when it comes over to the real estate world, a lot of people use the BRRRR method. When you're going to buy your house, using a hard money or private money or whatever, then you're going to repair it, then you're going to rent it out, and then you're going to refinance. That's when the credit comes into, very good importance here is when you're going to refinance. You can't refinance if you do not have a good credit score. You're going to be stuck with a high interest rate, and that is what we don't want. We do not want you to be stuck with high interest rates. So that's what you can do with your credit. Once you have it, you can use it in order to borrow things, get assets, but do it at a lot less cost than it would be if you had, like a poor credit score. So again, if you're out here and you're trying to figure out what to do or how can I use my credit once I have it, you can borrow at a lot less and a lot cheaper rate than what other people might pay. So if you can, avoid the buy here, pay here, use cash when appropriate. And then when you have it, use the resources you have, and always make sure that you are paying your debts on time. So we'll talk about a couple of other things when it comes to credit next week, and I hope you have a good one. Talk soon.